Hey everybody, welcome to WDKX's Wake Up Club After Show, and you can already tell it's the spring season for baseball because Al's got his baseball shirt in. For those that don't know, Al Parisi, you do sponsor a Little League team.
Absolutely, the Parisi Panthers in the Hispanic Baseball League.
Awesome. So let's give it back to the community. But you have a very deep family question today. What's up?
Well, yeah, no, because in a lot of my cases, right, this past week, I got about a little bit over $1 million for a kid that was 16, going to be 17, right? Just right at that age. And it's one of those things where I say, whether it's who should take care of your children if you're not around, or, how should it be distributed? In other words, like we have a choice as part of that settlement to make it come due all at 18 years old, or to come due at 21 years old, or in small increments all along in what's called an annuity, right? So people need to think about that. If they have the type of case that involves a child, how do they want those payouts to be? And how would they, like, in other words, would you want your child to get all that money in a lump sum at 18 years old?
Oh, man, it depends on, because I had 3 kids. They're all at different maturity levels. Oh, that's a really good question. I'm out of the picture. So something, God forbid, happens to me or my wife. Would I want my kids at a certain age to have all the money or have it spread out? I would say spread out, because I don't know about anybody else. I can only go off of me. 18-year-old Tariq would have seen that money differently than 21-year-old Tariq. That would have seen it differently than 25-year-old Tariq. That would have seen it differently at 30-year-old Tariq.
Right. And those are the kinds of things that in our lawsuits every day that you have to think about. And it's funny, right? Because now everything's going to bots, right? Like I tell people this past weekend, right? I thought it was so interesting. Albert had 2 holes in the wood above his deck, right? And I said, oh, Al, you got to get wasp spray, right? I think those are wasp holes, right? He immediately takes a picture, goes to AI, and it says, no, they're carpenter bee holes, and you use something different.
I don't want either one of those. Apparently.
Wow. But here's the key, though, right? I used to get away with everything and say, well, I don't know what it is, right? Because I didn't have a father, right? I didn't know I didn't have tools. I didn't know what things are. But now a father has been replaced by a bot.
Yeah. So I guess you could use it too. Like Al, you could use AI, Al, as your sort of, I didn't have a dad, but I need a dad answer here, or I need a mom answer here. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be, AI is going to play some sort of role. It won't be the same, but you'll get the results.
So if you're not around, if you have a choice of putting a living, breathing human being in charge of your kid's assets or a bot, what are you going to pick?
I'm going to pick a living human being.
Wow. Okay. Even though the bot may pace it out perfectly, right? The bot may say to your kid, answer 6 questions, and based how they answer those 6 questions, they'll see whether or not they're mature enough to get the cash.
Well, I mean, you could use the bot for maybe financial strategies down the line to adjust as it goes. But I still believe you need a real life human person to answer real life human questions. And a bot can give you a whole bunch of different answers, but they won't give you from their perspective of lived life.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I see exactly what you're saying. So I guess the only thing is people have to make straight right away is if you have a child, right, decide who you want that guardian to be.
Within your family and friends.
While you're alive. Absolutely. Within your family and your friends. And the same thing is like me, with my mom at 92 years old, the first thing any of them ask you is, do you have power of attorney? Can you speak for her? If she's in a medical condition, do you have the authority? And if you don't have the authority, you can't get your foot off of first base. So just think about these things now beforehand, because if you wait, sometimes it's too late.
A lot to talk about, Al. A lot of deep questions. That's what WDKX After Show is all about. Make sure you tune in every weekday morning with WDKX, the Wake Up Club. Multiple topics. Good luck on the Parisi Panthers this season.
Wow, let's go win.
We are 103.9 WDKX.